Hello! I am full of energy today because I was up at 4 a.m. and you are listening to Productivity and Procrastination. I'm Joe.
Yo, it's James.
Okay, that's all he's got. That's fine. He's still catching up.
That's all. I'm still warming up. Yeah.
We're a couple of procrastinators looking to get productive, and we're working on our first project, Project Pancake, which is a comic about a pancake. And this is episode 32.
Yeah, very exciting. We are having fun.
32 episodes.
32 episodes.
It's madness.
Wow, 32. You'd think
We'd have something done by now.
Figured out some stuff by now.
I think
about everything.
I think we're learning.
It almost
things.
makes me want to think about what I've thought about 32.
Well, have you thought about
stinking
thinking
episodes.
about what you've thought about? Have you considered that angle?
No, my mind is not ready for that.
I see. Some Inception, Mind Palace stuff. Those are two separate ideas, but I'm
You
merging
like that
them.
mind palace, don't you? So
I have a mind shack. It's got one room. It's got everything in it.
had no urinal, or just got one of those in that shack.
My brain doesn't have to pee, James.
Hey, well,
What are your
have you ever
brain
seen
doing?
what comes out of that brain of yours? So, what are we even talking about today?
I don't know. Apparently, we're starting off with piss. That's how we're starting this episode.
We did things
This is the
together
piss episode.
with the comic and various things, didn't we?
We did the comic.
We had
and
an
various
actually
things.
kind of productive week.
Remotely,
Who knew
yes.
that taking more time and doing things with it could yield more work accomplished?
Yeah. I woke up this morning because I wanted to get some work on the comic done. I have what I believe to be a sketch done of the comic. So it's going to line art and some art, or line art and some colors, and page 5 will be done. I didn't get page 6 done. We almost finished storyboarding page 6.
Yeah, I think there's some stuff that'll probably maybe change.
Yeah.
We got
We haven't nailed down everything, but it's close.
we got
to
some
getting
good
done.
beginnings. The basic concept is there. Yeah, so this has been week 2 of your vacation, Joe. You want to
Yeah.
give us a
let's-
synopsis of how that felt and what you
let's
did and
discuss.
all that?
A lot of my week was unsurprisingly not on task. I did work on a lot of things. I wasn't completely off task. But I did not spend as much time on things that I on the comic and on this stuff, on drawing, as I wanted to. So let me start from the beginning of the week,
Okay.
because I think it'll be easier to go in order. So Saturday, I was supposed to take the day off, which I did. And I was supposed to draw that same, go out and paint that same day. I did not paint that same day. I ended up going the next morning because it was dark by the time I got all done with all the stuff I was doing. So I drove out to a place called White Bluff and set up my easel. And I learned that the easel I have is not great for being an outdoor easel. It doesn't have enough of the same. It doesn't have any of the things we need. I need to make sure that my stuff isn't blowing around, or properly secured. It was like a $20 easel from Walmart. I'm not that surprised. But it's just something I have to think about in the future. I ended up just holding my canvas the entire time and painting like this.
Oh man,
'Cause
it's a bummer.
It was fine. It gave me a little bit more control, which I was not completely against. I need practice. And I didn't make any. I went out there, I drove. I enjoyed the drive. I enjoyed just doing something different, breaking up the monotony, like changing my scenery. I just drove down Road 68. I tried to find that Mercantile that you mentioned, but I think it's boarded up and closed now.
Oh wow.
I could be wrong. Maybe I didn't know. Is it on 68 or is it like some?
Yeah.
Yeah. Then it's closed up. I think I saw it. It's closed up.
Wow. Okay.
I basically ended up being unprepared to actually paint, but I tried, and I arrived. I stepped out. It was a good view. It's kind of like where, according to what the thing was saying, there was like nuclear stuff practiced there or something like that. I don't remember exact details, but
Nuclear stuff. Nice.
yeah, nuclear
We
stuff
should practice on nuclear things here.
here. And I didn't make anything I was proud of. It was sad because there was a disconnect between what I saw and what my hands were able to recreate with my skills with the brushes. There's a big disconnect, and that's something I need to shore up before I want to go out and paint again, is mending that disconnect. And so I plan on practicing that more. I got some new papers that's going to make the barrier to entry for painting to be easier. I got some like these wax papers that you get that you can just put your paints on, and when you're done with it, you just toss it, instead of having to clean off my easel with a scrubbing brush because everything dried on it. It's going to make things a little bit quicker, which I really like, because that's my biggest downside of like painting is like, okay, well, yeah, painting's fun, but as soon as I'm done, it's like, okay, well, here's 10 minutes of me scrubbing away at my easel because, the paint dried on it, and I got to make sure it's all clean and put it away. So reducing that difficulty will be nice. I watched some tutorials on like how to use specific brushes too. And there's this brush that basically works just like the inking tool on paint, like, or on Photoshop. And I was like, okay, that seems right up my alley. I could absolutely use that. So I'm going to be leaning in towards something like that too. But yeah, that was Sunday when I did that. And then I worked on stuff on Monday with James. 10 in the morning, got up and started working on a project. We got a good chunk of page 6 done. It's pretty close to getting done. And then it felt really good. Like, I felt productive. I was hungry to work the entire day. And James wanted to take a break, which is awesome. Nothing wrong with taking breaks. We took a break. And as soon as James was like off the call, I felt like all of my enthusiasm drained away. And like, I didn't want to do anything anymore.
Sorry,
or I stopped
my
doing
AOE aura must have got out of reach.
Yeah, it must have. I don't know. It seems to be easier to focus and to work when there's someone there.
Yeah. Totally get that.
It's odd. It's like it's I get less distracted and I focus more, and I feel more comfortable. Well, I guess not maybe more comfortable, but I don't know, it's just easier to focus and actually get stuff done when someone's there. And I just need to figure out how to translate that to when I'm by myself as well. I'd like to mirror that productivity when I'm by myself. But yeah, it was pretty successful. I'm happy with the progress we made. I wish I would have gotten page 5 done, but I should be able to get it done this weekend and go into work on Monday with page 5 done, starting page 6. So we started this 2 weeks with only page 2 done, and now we're moving into, theoretically, page 3, 4, and 5 done. Granted, 3 and 4 are a combo page.
Now, on your day off, did you have any fun?
Yes. So what we did was, a friend of mine, we watched Equalizer 1,
Oh,
Equalizer
that's a good
2,
one. Oh, I'm sorry.
and then we went and saw Equalizer 3 in theaters.
Oh, how was it?
Really bad.
And Equalizer
But-
1, I always tell myself that's the good one, and
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
other ones just are not to that level, I guess.
So what Equalizer 3 did for me was made me realize that it's like, you know how something can be so bad it makes these other two things seem to be about even? That's how I feel about 1 and 2. Like, they're about even in quality compared to 3.
Oh wow,
Yeah.
I thought 2 was a noticeable nosedive in quality. Like,
I mean-
in quality of script. But anyway. That's cool. Well, now I don't have to waste my time wondering if Equalizer
3's any
3
good.
is any good. Okay, so you had some fun there. And
Yeah, I didn't really have to think about, like, it wasn't really a quote day off because I didn't have to think about it. Like, I didn't have to logically think, okay, well, I can't do art, or if I do art, it's specifically just for fun. I don't know.
well,
Maybe I
like
need to have
I like
work
to think
days.
of day off as more of what I, you know, the requirements aren't there at all. You know, just the love of whatever you want to do can now be there. You might end up still working, but it should be what you want to do more than what you're pressured to do. The whole week in general, and the whole vacation in general, did it turn out the way you thought? And if not, like, did anything shock you? Because you haven't had a vacation in a long time.
Oh, yeah.
It would be nice to just kind of get your summary of
So
how it went.
it went. So my biggest fear going into the vacation is I did not want to be at the end of the vacation and think I didn't get anything done this entire vacation. And I didn't want that. I didn't want it to be wasted. That was my biggest fear going into it. I can look back now and confidently say it was not wasted. Because I didn't get everything done I wanted to, which is fine. But I feel like I've gotten more confident as an artist in creating, like, the project, like working on the project. I feel like I can just pick it up and start working on it. I feel like I've gotten to be a better artist in general. Like, I've made some actual strides in regular drawing as well. Comfortable more with like shoulder and elbow and armpit anatomy and that type of stuff, specifically. And then just I was feeling more confident just as an artist, and it kind of breaking up. For some reason, these 2 weeks have reinvigorated me have recharged, if I feel recharged, I feel like I'm not drained. I feel like I have spirit in me, and I've been like happier. I've felt more alive, more cognizant. I don't know. It's been very nice.
So the amount of output that you thought you would get versus how much you got done. Um, I know, like, I've had a while off, and my expectations of how much stuff I'd get done was so so vastly different for what I'm actually doing. Um, and I always extrapolate, like my current weekly output to like think, and estimating whether or not, how quickly could I get this project done? How quickly could I get this done? And you kind of examine yourself in light of that. And this last week we did work more than we normally do, and that was good. I guess if you had the ability to just stay home and work, how does that compare to the amount of work that you already did? And in examining that, where do you think your next step up can come from?
So if this was my life where I just lived every day and my job was to, keep pushing forward on the comic, I think easily getting a page done a week, if not more than one page done a week, is very feasible, especially if I can hone in my focus a little bit more. I think that was a big limiting factor these last 2 weeks, has been just not having as much focus as I'd like to have. But one page a week would definitely be possible. I would like to get to a place where I'm doing 2 pages a week, which I think is very doable as well. Ideally, and it depends on certain pages, you're going to have more difficulty than others, but ideally, there's a world where, like, if I have the time, I could theoretically do a page a day, but that requires a great deal of focus.
So when you say focus, are you just talking about like force of will almost? I mean, what is your, when you
my
say
definition
focus,
of focus is like this morning I started working on the comic, my page. Excuse me. And then about 2 hours in, I was like, okay, I was listening to music, and I was like, okay, well, I want to listen to this type of music. And I'm like, well, I don't know who to listen to that type of music. So I started Googling, like, this type of music, artists, and then I went through Spotify with all those different artists and checked some of their songs to see if there's anything I liked. And then I was like, okay, well, there's nothing really here. Let me try a different search. And then, I got lost in that. And then I came back and I was like, okay, well, no, I found something. And then, so I started working a little bit more, got that done. And then I'm like, okay, well, I'm a little hungry. I'm a little thirsty. So I went to the gas station, picked up some tastiness, came back, and then watched 3 episodes of an anime, because the first episode, you gotta eat. You gotta watch an anime while you're eating your food. And so I watched the first episode, and that left me on a cliffhanger. So I'm like, okay, well, I'm gonna watch the next one.
Big shocker.
And then there was like another cliffhanger, and I'm like, okay, just the next one. And then that one is also in the cliffhanger, but the issue is I don't have any more to watch. So I'd probably still be watching it had there been more episodes. And at that point I was like, okay, well, I got most of the comic sketched out. I should be okay. So that's basically what happens is I get lost in these rabbit trails, in these other things. That's not. My brain gets distracted from the focus, like focusing on the actual thing I'm working on.
Well, it sounds very familiar. I tell you. How to overcome that, man? That's tough one.
I've noticed that it does really, really help if I don't have anything on my other screen. I have it all minimized and just my desktop. I found that helps so much for me. If there's nothing to look over at, then I'm a lot less distracted.
Well, that's good. You know, I can't even remember what I did very much this week. I mean, I know we worked together, and I know I had like other various tasks that I've done. I did work on my business a little bit.
What'd you have written down
But-
for goals?
I can't find that paper.
I see.
Yeah. But I mean, you know, I guess we did some stuff. So that was my week. Us working multiple
Sounds like
days.
you're piggybacking
I
off
might
my
add.
stuff.
No, you were begging for my time. So I think it was like some kind of
It's true.
apprenticeship program.
It's true.
I was volunteering to help some student or something, you know.
Some underprivileged.
Humanitarian effort I was giving.
That's a tax write-off.
Yeah, I mean, it was a good week. We got some stuff done. We even talked about, you know, an old video game that we wanted to create and all that. And we spent quite a few hours working on concepts for the core gameplay mechanic. That was pretty fun. And so, you know, the busier I am, the better. And, you know, last night I worked, you know, when we got done, weren't we doing things yesterday? Yeah.
Yeah,
we did the video game stuff yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
So after that, I took a little break and slept for 2 hours, and my mind was Swiss cheese.
Mm-hmm.
And when I got up, I started working on the photography side of my life, and there were problems, and we had to solve them, and finally we did, and we got some progress. But I was, you know, shooting until, you know, almost midnight, but when I look at the day, it's like doomed, jam-packed, like getting this done with Joe, you know, mind work, nap, more work, eat a little bit, watch one show, work until basically going to bed. And it was a nice day. Didn't get any time to really play any games. But it was still a successful day, and I think, you know, filling my day with more. You know, if I had to do more. So like we have our comic we're working on, and we discussed, oh, well, you know, we could weave in to this working on a video game too. And, you know, thinking about it and talking about it at that moment yesterday, it was like, we're whatever, you know. But then thinking about it today, and then looking at what I did yesterday, and thinking about what you just said, like how you get distracted.
Mm-hmm.
It makes me think, well, maybe if I did have more to do, it would be easier to get more done on the other stuff too.
Yeah.
Because there's that constraint that comes into play. As long as you know that,
I think
I mean, it's
deadlines.
almost like you trick your mind a little bit, and you think that there's a tension, but there's really not. But you're putting some kind of a control in there. I don't know. There could be a real dynamic there. I mean, we had discussed how we were like, well, after we get done with the comic, do we stop doing the comic, and do we start working on a video game? And what we came up with was, at the end, we were like, well, why don't we just work on another comic,
Mm-hmm.
and at the same time work on the video game? Because we'll have gotten better at creating a comic, which should increase the output. Which, there we have a product that can potentially be recreated in a decent amount of time, and it could be like the start of an income. So I mean, I'm just kind of rambling about it, obviously, but you kind of get the gist of what I'm saying. I mean,
Yeah. No, it makes sense. Do you think that having time constraints with or having more to do might make it easier for you to accomplish both products instead of one by itself?
yeah, and maybe even bump up the original productivity on the first one because of that. Like,
Mm-hmm.
when I was working, I got more done sometimes, it felt, even though I was working all day. So, when you don't have much time, then you start to really, focus in on what you have to do today.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, you make no progress any day. So, if you kind of built in more constraints, to some degree, I know it's your leg jiggling your entire day of
Oh,
Lego.
is it? Yeah.
Yes, your whole screen is just like, oh. um, I mean, obviously, we would have to, you know, be in line with your schedule if we were going to be
Mm-hmm.
working on a project that wasn't just, but there's some potential there that, you know, that we could get some extra stuff done. I don't know. Let me know. I know your life's going to go back to normal now, so. But extra things don't have to take extra crazy amounts of time. I
No, I
mean,
agree.
could be just an
And
hour.
there's part of me that's like, there's stuff I could do while I'm working too. I can't promise how much I can get done while I'm working because it just depends on the day. But
Yeah, I
I
don't
think
think you should
there's,
promise anything about your working. It should just be bonus.
yeah, but that's definitely an option. But could I, like, part of me does think there is something that there's stuff that can be done while working, especially coding, which might be easier to jump in and out of.
Well, at least maybe, a tutorial or something where you're just following along, actually doing the brain work while you're. I mean, I don't know. I don't know how your average day is, but anyway, how big takeaways from all this? Like, how has your last 2 weeks? Like, what if you were going to give any advice to people? Um, concerning productivity and
I think
procrastination and all that, what would it be?
I think if you're to take a break from like your job to focus on something that's important to you, be be open to the experience over trying to mold it into what you want it to be. Like I didn't go into this expecting to feel how I did. I expected to be like a production machine. But like I would have to say like maybe the first week was just recharging and I got page 3 and 4 done, but it was like recharging and like this week I feel prepared, I feel ready to accomplish things and to get things done. Um and I felt just a like reignition of passion for art and creation in general, and I feel more alive. I feel less, I don't know, I just feel happier.
Mm.
So just be open to the experience. Like it's good to definitely have some goals that you want to accomplish and to achieve those is great. But also be open to new experiences and do things that you normally wouldn't, like go out and paint or what your equivalent is. Break up the monotony, because if you're just going to sit at home doing the same things that you did when you weren't on vacation, you're just going to it's going to feel bad, especially at the end when it's like, well, I didn't do anything different. I didn't learn anything. I didn't grow. Vacation isn't for me, this vacation wasn't to get away from my job. It was to re recenter myself or maybe just
Spend some more
grow.
time with yourself.
Mm-hmm. It was very helpful in ways I did not expect.
Yeah, being more like just kind of like let the tides take you where it takes you, and
Mm-hmm.
on at least that first week, if you have multiple weeks off, you know that sounds like good advice. I We always overestimate the amount of production we seem to
Yeah,
think in
I
our
mean,
mind.
it theoretically was possible if I could get myself to focus to get, and I can almost promise this, a page done a day. But the issue being, it's like it's hard to focus. It's hard to stay on track. And that's something I need to work on.
Yeah, it does help having a second person um, focused on the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's you know I think a lot of the times we just forget and quit. You
Yeah.
know, you get excited about other things, new things to
Your brain
consume or
starts
play,
wandering.
and
Yeah.
then time goes by, and then you don't have that same energy and drive,
Mm-hmm.
and then a new project. Oh. So I think it's important to have that second person if you can.
Yep. Agreed. Agreed. I think our accountability and these videos is like a big reason why we've been so productive like we have is we have each other and then the accountability of the videos.
Yeah, I guess just thinking about that kind of wraps around to the initial thing um, that I said was kind of like, hey, how have we done since we first began? Have we really changed? And I would have to say, I mean, comparing what I've done the previous year compared to this year, I mean, we, yeah, it doesn't seem like we've done. When you just go, oh, what? You're how many pages in are you guys? How many months this has been? And
Right.
you just stack up the time versus the perception, and you're like, we're pathetic. But at the same time, we have made progress in an actual task, and there's so many hidden things that you have to get good at. Working with someone else. All these little things. And so I think we're getting better and better at working faster and faster.
Yeah.
And maybe there is a time when we're kind of like at a critical mass, and we're at the highest amount of production versus the minimal amount of time.
Mm-hmm.
And we get to that point. So you can start to see how we've been over the past. I mean, even in the last few months, if we would have had to chart how long has a page taken to complete, from the beginning, how long was it for page one and maybe that's something that we should chart. What exact date, is this page done and this page done. I think we would find that period of time is constricting,
Mm-hmm.
and not only that, but I think my attention span for getting work done is increasing lately as well. We worked for quite a few hours yesterday,
Mm-hmm.
and it was pretty nice. So, of course, I had to collapse afterwards.
Well, it's like a muscle. You're stretching it.
And you're right; it is a muscle. I think the whole thing of what we've done in these past 32 weeks is we are working that muscle of productivity and creativity, and if we don't relent, um, I only see it getting stronger.
Yeah. Yeah, we're gonna get stuff done. I mean, might take 40 years, but we're gonna put something out. Dang it. So just wait for it. We got this.
40 years, nice.
I
I'm
wish
going to
my
get out of
memory
that
was better.
desert a little bit earlier, okay? My goodness.
Ah, yes. A reference. All right. Is there anything else we want to go over before we call it? Because I can't think of. Oh, yes. What is your goals for next week? You have to write them down. I need you to write these goals
Oh,
down.
okay. All right, my goals next week are one, find some time to work with Joe on whatever page that we want to of the comic, and I would like to find some time, be it 30 minutes to an hour or whatever we can, to take a look at this video game aspect as well. And I want to get some really good photography done, because I want to do that to be able to stay home for perpetualness so that all this can work out. We got maybe 12 shots done last night. I would like to increase that this week and see how much real work I can get done. And I would like, when we work on our page thing, I have like a basic outline, not outline, but I have like a first draft completed on my text side that I would like to work on with you, see what you think, and tweak as we see fit. So I'd like that to be part of our thing if possible. Otherwise, I would like it to be a separate thing where we're looking at it and can give full attention to it.
Probably do it during the storyboarding. I think that's a good idea. I think it's a good place for it.
So basically, I have 3 aspects of my life I'm really wanting to work on right this moment. 1, I want the comic to increase, so we want to further that. 2, I would like to start looking into the video game aspect of it.
Mm-hmm.
And part 3 would be working on maybe making my at-home vacation / retirement never end. So.
I like it. Okay. So yeah, mine are project work daily. We'll see like what days I do. I can't promise that one. Draw daily, I can mostly accomplish that one. Finish page 5. I want to get that done by Sunday. I want to get like Sunday night. I want to have page 5 done. And then I want to storyboard with you and then start page 6 sometime in the week. Like start sketching up page 6.
Okay.
I think those are good goals.
Maybe a good thing to do would be after we're done with the podcast, we take a moment and just put those things into Discord, our goals for the week, so that we can each see each of our goals, so that we can press a little hard next week.
I like that. I could add we could put it into the actual productivity and procrastination under the goals section.
Do that.
I like it. So if you want to keep up and follow along, you're more than welcome to join the Discord. Come hang out and say hi to us.
And give us some flack when we fail miserably. It would be fun.
It would be fun.
Ridicule begin.
But yeah, that sounds good. I like that.
Okay.
All right, you want to close this out with a...
No, don't say that word. What? Don't say it.
Which word?
That word. The word that I hate. It starts with a Q. A funny little...
Quip? Why do you hate quip so much?
Okay, here's why. I hate the comic relief guy, the character in every show. I hate that guy, the friend, the whatever little rodent they find or whatever. That's just like all he's there for is to be stupid. I hate that character. And so to end with a funny quip makes me feel like I've got to hire that little guy again. I've got to find that guy because, and I just hate him. So there it is. That must be the psychological reason why I hate that.
That's cool. I thought you were going to say Peach.
If I ever write a guy like that into a story, he's going to die. Spoiler alert, all right? My goodness. He will die before the stinking book is done. Oh, and I'll enjoy it too.
All right. Well, let's go ahead and end it there. Thanks for watching. That is a nice little ending quip. See us next week when James starts a brand new story just to kill somebody. Bye.